It was late 2020. I got on the phone with my boss, regular weekly meeting, and I wanted to say something smart, something about the weather, but she stopped me. And as soon as she stopped me, an HR person came online. And I have been in the workforce for quite a long time, so I knew immediately what it meant. I was being fired. I was being fired out of the blue. Shock to the system, disappointment. Anyway, after the conversation, yada yada yada, package, whatnot, you put the phone down, and all of a sudden, your life has changed. What do you do now? Let's get into it. Why am I talking about this subject? Because technically, my channel is all about solopreneurship. It's very easy if you think about this. Most people see solopreneurship as something like a pool. You dive into it and then you begin swimming up until the point in time where you're successful. Most of the situations I've seen is yes, it is a pool, and yes, it is the deep end, and you jump in, and oh my God, how many people drown? What's the solution? Well, my solution is if you're holding a 9 to 5 job, you should, you definitely have to look at a side gig. Explore your hobby as a business. Advance into something that you've never tried before. And then you're going to say, why? I have a stable salary. I'm liked at my job. I've been there for a number of years and everyone's happy with my performance. Be that as it may, I have seen so many people being laid off not because of their performance, but because company was cutting costs. And then what do you do? What do you do after a 15-year career at a single job where everyone knows you, you know everyone, and now no one really cares because you're out of that job. And it's not because you're bad. So let's talk about solopreneurship from this vantage point. The reason I am selling my services is because I'm seeing a lot of people who have tremendous potential, who have a lot to give and a lot to teach, not think ahead. Let me tell you a couple of reasons why starting a side gig while you're still gainfully employed is an excellent idea. Number one, it provides you additional income. It might not be comparable to what you make at work, but it's still an incremental income. And maybe if you work at this, it can grow to such a degree where it can rival your primary source of income. So you have a cushion. You would not be like me in that situation if you ever get laid off, going and thinking, staring at the wall for 30 minutes, thinking, oh my God, what am I going to do? And then frantically applying to every job you find out there. No, you will already be set because you had a side gig. Number two, well, this is actually helping your career. Imagine if you decide to change jobs and they ask you, well, why should we hire you? And you can say, number one, I was excellent at my previous job and I know the industry. Number two, in parallel, I run a side business, and these are the skills that I can bring to the table that none of the other candidates can show. Number three, it also shows my motivation, ability to figure things out. It's an excellent selling point. Trust me. What's more, you get to explore, let's call it number three, you get to explore skills that you would never find in your job. Imagine you selling courses. Well, just like me, you will discover the platforms that you need to use, the shopping carts, the sales funnel, the newsletters, the drip campaigns, the pricing of your program, how you put it together, how do you design slides, everything that may not be part of your job. Number four, well, you can actually explore things that your career path does not lead you to. I have an example of a gentleman who was a financial analyst, but he had a passion for graphic design. And guess what? He has a small design agency. Sure, it's not generating nearly as much income as he would have hoped, but it gives an outlet, a creative outlet for his passion. Number five, not only do you develop new skills, you develop new contacts. You develop a completely different set of people that you meet on a daily basis. You develop those relationships, and those relationships can lead you down paths that you would never have considered or be open to if you just stayed with your 9 to 5 job. And of course, number six, it builds a leader inside of you. Something that you can definitely hold very proud and very clearly to your management in your regular job when you have that conversation about a promotion. Because how many people of the same level in the company can say that, well, I've actually built a business as I was doing this, and I'm good at this job, and I'm also great at building a business. And I know how senior leaders think about this because they, just like me on a smaller scale, are looking at the bigger picture and taking into account many different things. So you can see that solopreneurship is a very, very good proposition for those who are holding a 9 to 5 job. Let's recap. It diversifies income, builds new skills, gains you new relationships, makes you more marketable if you change jobs, and definitely makes you more promotable as you climb that ladder. And financial gains. Of course, you will be making money on the side. Maybe not a lot at the first time, but who knows? There have been many stories told of people successfully converting their side gig into their primary gig with all of the freedom that it entails and all of the stress as well. So think about this. And if you want to explore this further, if you are in doubts about whether you want to stay at your company or maybe you feel that you may be laid off because your company is not doing so well. Whatever the reason, I encourage you, reach out to me. I have a 3-session program that allows you to explore what you can do, how you can do it, and where would you start. And maybe you're already somewhere along the path. Maybe your side gig is already rolling, but not just quite as efficient as you want it to be. Well, let's talk as well. Tell me in the comments below, what are your thoughts about having a 9 to 5 job and then exploring a solopreneurship gig on the side? Tell me if you've done it successfully. What helped you? It would be great if you can share. Okay? See you in the next one.